Hello everyone, today we have a reading about your career situation, and I forgot to film this intro when I was actually filming the reading, so now you see a spoiler how next video will look like, because I changed the setting, as you might see if you regularly watch my videos. And for today we have 3 groups. Let's choose yours. First group has message: it's okay to be uncomfortable, it's okay to be scared, you will succeed in spite of these feelings, with a bunny and blue calcite. Second group has message: you are doing fine, don't give up, with Arctic fox and orange calcite. And the third group has message: you are a whole person, you are complete, with a raven and this fluorite, raw fluorite. You can pause video here to choose the group that is most appealing for you, and when you will choose the group, go to the timestamps down below to fast forward to your reading. I want to remind you that I do personal readings. If you're interested in tarot reading with psychological perspective, you can check out my Etsy page, link would be down below. And we are going to start from the group 1 right now. Hi group 1, your choice for today, the bunny card and blue calcite stone. And the first message is from your bunny actually, because when the energy of rabbit or bunny is imbalanced, it contains a lot of anxiety inside of it. And even our message here, it's okay to be uncomfortable, it's okay to be scared, you will succeed in spite of those things. This is exactly what you have to repeat yourself every day. If you feel scared and uncomfortable, remember that it's normal, especially when it is connected to your career, and especially if it's something new that you're just starting in your life, some new journey, some new path. The winter picture here on your bunny tells me that you need to take into consideration the fact that there could be a period of time where it's cold and scary. And it's also night at the winter, right? It could be dark, it could be cold, it could be scary. We also see, however, we see a full moon here. So I feel that right now you experience an influx of so much energy from your emotions, and first of all from anxiety, that it just don't allow you to see your straightforward path. However, if you will accept your emotions and your intuition, if you allow yourself to cry or allow yourself to talk straightforwardly about your fears that connected to your career, this what could be the source of the genius and interesting ideas that could help you to move forward. I prepared oracle and tarot cards for your reading already, and this reading would contain 3 parts. And in the first part, we are going to look at the challenges, concrete challenges in your current situation. And we have Sun with source, strength, and protection. I hear that there is a problem with the source of your strength right now. Because of the lack of protection, you really need to consider building healthier boundaries around your own desires connected to your career. Your worst enemy right now, first of all, is you. You judging yourself for not moving as fast as you want or doing mistakes. If other people outside you also judge you, they're just mirroring your own behavior, your own attitude. You can be scared about rejection from others. If you are an artist, for example, and people don't like your posts in Instagram, this is basically a form of rejection, right? But because you think a lot that you are not enough, and you don't understand that what is most important in current situation, and in current situation, it's really important to protect yourself, I feel it, from your own judgment, first of all. You just fall into this pattern of judging, crying, losing hope, And that definitely not a way towards your strength. This card tells me that you have to find ways how to protect your psyche, first of all. Again, if there is a situation where other people around you attack you psychologically, I hope not physically, because if physically, you definitely have to find help, professional help, or I hope it's not about this situation. I will talk about psychological protection, right? So there are people in your circle or on your work or anywhere who attack and judge you and who mock you. You have to find a way how to protect yourself from those attacks. I hear that there is a big problem actually with your ego happening right now connected to your career. You think about yourself a bit too much on the one side, and on the other side, you blame yourself and you disrespect, well, actually also disrespect, deprecate yourself a lot. There are like two pillars right now connected to your career situation. And one pillar is I am as majestic as the sun and everything should go around me. And another pillar is I'm nobody and no one and everyone can like kill me or scare me, like I'm nothing in this field. And both those beliefs are inadequate because there is always strength in the middle. The truth is in the middle path, as Buddha teaches that, right? So the adequate and balanced energy of the sun is energy of a teacher, a leader, even a lover, right? Person who uses their compassion, passion, and also their true love to others, to share with them the light that they have, to channel the light from the source through them, through their actions, through their words. However, this balanced energy of the sun, lack of connection to the ground, when you lose yourself in your ego, in your higher chakras, in fantasies about how cool it could be or how cool am I, this balanced energy do not, for some people it could be that they become really, really arrogant, and in some way you are arrogant. Okay, let me explain this, please. So because you're thinking that you're that cool, but you're just starting something, I just hear and feel this energy that this is a beginning of new chapter or even maybe of new path. So this is a period of time where you have to prepare, where you have to strategize, create plans, like period of winter, right? And you have to put all your mental and spiritual energies and powers into projecting, creating a plan. But wait, what I wanted to tell you. But in this moment, you're already expecting huge results because you are that majestic and that cool. It could lead to refusal from any action towards your career, for some of you. For others who is 100% sure that you are not cool and this is the problem, like how I can find the strength in me to be able to pursue my dream, my path, if I'm sure that I'm not enough here. This is an opposite side of the same coin. As I told you, two pillars, right? I'm too good and I'm now one and nothing, but both of them are lie. Also, this card of strength actually give me a connection to the card of strength in tarot, classical tarot, and the sun, both of them connected to Leo energy. So maybe you have some Leo placements, or maybe it would be beneficial for you if you're into astrology to read again or to just revise your knowledge about problems that Leo meet in their life, connected to their career. that could resonate a lot with you. So I see here lack of knowledge, lack of adequate, healthy, clear confidence. Who am I actually right now? What are my strengths and what are my concrete weaknesses? What helps me against my weaknesses and what makes them worse? You lack all of this. You have a lot of energy inside of you, and this energy wants to be used for the good purpose, but because you don't know how to protect yourself from your negative fantasizing, you just exploding inside yourself with this energy, and it manifests itself in anxiety episodes. And also for me, like I feel here a dependable behavior from negative fantasizing. Like it is a part of your routine to think about how bad you are or how impossible it is to achieve what you want to achieve. And how unfair it is because you are actually a nice person. So what actions are needed right now in your current situations to solve this problem? And we have 7 of Swords, Death, the Lovers, and the 8 of Wands. And there should be a death for your 7 of Swords behavior. There should be very harsh and strict self-realization about what you're doing right now. You are right now, currently, you're stealing your own time, you're stealing your own energy, and you're spending time and energy and maybe even other resources on continuing lying and creating this picture of the world, view of the world, where you are pitying yourself as and blaming yourself as a victim. So this is your 7 of Swords behavior. And this is exactly why Sun is in challenging situation for you. It's like when you become the center of the world, the center of the universe in your head, obviously, and you start to feel that everything is against you, I should formulate it a bit differently. I should have said, when you feel that everything is against you, that means that you're putting yourself in the middle of the universe. That's clearer, right? And this is about ego again. Not everything in the universe is against you, first of all. Second of all, of course, I definitely believe that absolutely everything is for you. And if you feel the for enemy, what's the difference between for and enemy? I don't know, actually. So if you feel that there are enemies around you, or if you feel that nothing works out as it should, it's helping you to and forcing you to find new ways, to change something fundamental, first of all, inside of you. And I feel here that this death card tells about this death of this behavior. You have to let go of self-judgment, self-punishment. All this power that you put into self-judgment and self-punishment, if you just stop putting all this power there in those actions, you will suddenly find yourself with like endless source of motivation and energy for your career, for your path. The death should come to your own behavior. And for this death to come, you first of all has to accept the fact that you want to change. You're ready for this change. You can ask for this change. Yourself, goddess, universe. In the previous reading, I did third group first when I was filming this video. Yeah, in the third group, there is also the Lovers and the 8 of Wands. And I hear a bit similar energies, maybe not this exactly the same, but you have to find an order to your desires. Yeah, a bit similar message with this Eight of Wands. Those wands here, they represent energies of many different desires connected to your career. I want this, I want this, I want to learn this, and I want to change this. Like, this is, I already reading your energies, energy of a newbie, someone who is starting something. So maybe you feel that you need to learn a lot, different things to continue your path. You want to evolution. You want to make an evolution in your mind, in your life structure. So there are a lot of different tasks and desires and ideas that you want to implement right now that would help your career. You're already thought about them. You have this feeling what could help you. But this could goes against you if this doesn't have an order. And the Lovers here has two, this card has two snakes. So I'm not sure. And also the love card, the Lovers, actually talks about important decision where we have to choose something and a lot of other things. So I feel here that in your current actions, you first of all have to plan out, have to write down all those desires and ideas. And after this, you have to choose two primary steps, primary actions that you can fulfill every day and focus only on them. If you will start building some new skill, it can take all your energy and attention. However, after this skill become more automatic and easier to implement, then you can move to solving other situations and to creating new skills. Here's my own personal example for you. Even if I'm doing readings from last November, so basically it's year and a few months, readings online, exactly for video, I struggled every time because talking with someone whom I see and trying to make a video for nobody, like I'm sitting before my window and I'm and I'm always looking at the windows of my neighbors because like I just have another house there. But that's not the point. The point is that doing a reading for emptiness, basically, right? And talking with you as if you're here, it's a whole ass new skill. It's so different and it's so difficult. And also, camera lens has a huge impact on many people because we judge ourselves a lot. So, even if I did videos for a year, basically more than a year, I still continue to struggle with absolutely every video, with absolutely every group. It was like more a law, right? For me to struggle. I would not struggle maybe once per, 10 piles or something. But right now I realized I finished my school in December and going through this transition and a feeling that I continue suffering with readings. I was like, I don't want to suffer all my life. I want to do my work freely and easily. And I started asking myself questions like why I'm struggling so much with filming videos. And I realized the problem is in the gaps between videos because I would film one reading with the whole 3 decks and then I would be so exhausted because it's difficult for me to do, and then I would take some rest and 1 day of rest, 2nd day of rest, 3rd day of rest, and then I already don't want to do it again. So you might feel it, right? This time I realized that if I won't have those gaps between readings, then it would be easier for me to just continue filming videos every day. Maybe I will film only 1 pile per day, but I will learn myself to do it. I don't have a skill to my body, my brain is not used to filming so much. Do you understand it? Do you feel it? Right? So basically, I decided to learn, to teach myself, to make it a habit, to make it so natural, so that I even change my way how I speak. And if you are my subscriber and you listen to my other videos, you might already mention it exactly in this video right now, because I definitely feel the difference. Because right now I'm talking with you as if you were here. You are real, like we are talking together with each other. But all my previous videos were filmed as if I was, interesting how to describe it. Basically, I was trying to play something adequate while I was trembling inside from fear of judgment. So, if you experience struggles in some actions that are really important for your career, it is your job to make yourself clear about what actually takes so much energy out of you and how you can solve it. And as a person who is starting something new or just evolving on your current career path, right? It's still always kind of a new start. You also need to remember about it. Remember that could be just lack of skills, and that's it. And I was doing readings. Look at this, right? I was doing tarot readings for 7 years already, offline. But going online, that's the whole set of new skills. So I had to accept the fact that I don't know how to do readings online, and I need to learn it. So this would be the last part of your reading. What are the supporting energies in your current situation? And we have extremely scary, I don't know why, but I feel scared of this card. Card, the shapeshifter. Very supporting energies. Earthworm. And you got 3 cards. Unicorn, other group had 2, no, but it's okay. And hummingbird, okay. Let me see how it would be more beautiful. So anyway, let me start from those energies that I know well from the Animal Oracle deck. Your supporting energies, Earthworm, the card of a newbie, as I already said several times during your reading. This card is here to remind you that being on your place is absolutely normal, and all those beautiful masters of their business, of their actions, career, you got me. So all those people on whom you're watching with adoration, they were someday all in the energy of the earthworm, energy of someone who is just starting. This card reminds you to not be afraid to learn, because everything that other people can do flawlessly, they had to learn it. Only repeating behavior allow us to make action flawless. So if you feel that you are doing not enough, then continue repeating. For example, I am learning how to draw right now. Do you want to see my drawings? I will show you. So I always wanted to learn how to draw all my life. And I never succeeded in it because I wanted to draw right off the bat, but then I realized that I have to start from the fundamentals. And I actually started doing those spheres and shapes and all this stuff, but actually enjoying them. I don't know how to explain to you why I have this shift, obviously because of a lot of psychological work and a lot of spiritual work. In some moment I just started to enjoy drawing boring stuff. But it didn't took me long, continuing drawing boring stuff, to actually, to suddenly, but to draw a human face takes a lot of time for me, because I have no idea about proportions. It's really difficult for me to understand how exactly facial features should look, because absolutely everything should be learned, right? Drawing. I love this one. This one is also not bad. So noses, eyes, ears, like everything has its own perks. Everything has its own little twists to make it more beautiful and interesting. And this should be a journey. This should contain interest, all those little steps. And every time when you learn something, you have to pat yourself on the back. You have to appreciate yourself. You have to say to yourself, good job. I'm proud of you. And sometimes you have to allow yourself to be free, especially if it is about creative work, right? And do something very stupid and silly, but for yourself, just for the sake of it. Because trying to draw something very precise and accurate is can take a lot of energy out of us. But trying to create something for the purpose of just because it's a stupid idea and I like it gives energy back a lot of, right? And Hummingbird actually supports this idea of little things, but joyful things. So Hummingbird talks about the energy, like Hummingbird basically knows where to find sources of the nectar, and she remembers those sources and goes like searching them every day. Like she has its own route every day. So I see here that what would really support you in your current situation is to find your sources of nectar, little flowers, right? Because hummingbird takes nectar from flowers. So something maybe not so important, but something where you can feel free. Sources of sweetness. Maybe it's reading a book for a few minutes. Maybe it's dancing intuitively when nobody sees you. Or maybe it's dancing when someone sees you. It depends on you. But don't overfocus that much only on one thing in your life, on your career, and on why you have so much problems in this. For your career to succeed, for you to be able to continue moving forward, you have to be fulfilled with little sweet things that are around you. And if you don't have absolutely anything in your life that fulfills you with this nectar of sweetness, if you spend your free time watching Netflix or playing Genshin, then it's your job to find those things. You want to succeed in your career, you have to build yourself a base as a strong adult person. You have to find those things. And unicorn, the representation of the third eye, talks about trust in your intuition. And also we have moon here. So I feel that maybe to balance your ego that right now has this disbalanced energy of the sun inside you, you can tap into the energy of the moon, feminine, being, feeling, sensing, experiencing, and accepting, and being more compassionate. That's what needed for you to continue moving forward. I also feel here that your unique ideas, your desires that you see before yourself, they are magical and they are unique. Even if you should focus on your concrete actions here and now, and you should be more humble and connected to earth, right? More grounded. On the other side, you also should not lose a connection to your bigger dream. Like, allow this dream to exist in your world. Don't judge yourself for the fact that you have this dream. It's beautiful that you have it. It's yours. Just cherish it. Just thank God for the fact that it is in your life. But don't rush yourself to move towards it so fast. The shapeshifter, I'm going to read about it from the book. But I already can tell you the fact that like it is about not focusing too much on one attitude, one perspective in your life. I feel that sometimes you become too hyper-focused on your current state, and this is why it's so difficult for you to shift this state. But in reality, absolutely every day we change our states. Absolutely every hour, every minute, every second we can change our state, as physically, as psychologically, and spiritually. So when we accept this truth that everything is shifting and I am shifting every day, then we don't feel that much stuck in our energies. So shapeshifter, the trickster, the elusive, the formless. The shapeshifter has a love of theater, games, and trickery. Its energy appears as one thing only to reveal a more complex story below the surface. The shapeshifter is within all of us to some degree. It is the side of ourself that is slippery, non-committal, and experimental and longs to dismiss the rules. We need its energy to adapt to the ever-changing landscape of our existence. When the shapeshifter card appears, it's important to imagine you are looking at life through a kaleidoscope rather than a single focus lens. At any moment, the scene may shift, revealing a more enchanting vision that you imagined. Be wary, though, as the allure of the kaleidoscope can leave you exhausted and yearning for solid ground. Dancing long-term with the shapeshifter requires a central pillar of integrity that links us back to our center. This energy of shapeshifter is connected to this energy of hummingbird, right? Moving lightly, changing your direction easily, like hummingbird. It definitely has master degree in moving freely through space. What I'm talking about, but I hope you got me. You should allow yourself to shift your energies every day. If you feel too over-focused on something, go and take cold shower. Go and eat something different. This is a huge skill that you have to learn about yourself. What helps you to shift your energies? That's the question that you need to ask yourself maybe every day till the moment when you learn what actually helps you. And this would be all messages for you, my dear group number 1. I want to ask you to put an emoji of the bunny down below in the comment section if you're still here. I want to see who watched my readings till the end. And also, of course, please share your emotions and thoughts about your reading. Did you enjoy this one? Did it resonate with you? And I do personal readings on my Etsy page. You can order it with some discount, because it's a new year time right now. And if you enjoy my view on readings, tarot and oracles, if you like spiritual and also psychological perspective on readings, please subscribe to my channel to see more of this stuff in the future. And we see you next time. Hi group 3, your choice for today was this fox card with "you're doing fine, don't give up" message and orange calcite. Messages about your career will start from your first choice. I didn't read crystals for other groups, but I feel an urge to read this one for you because orange calcite, as I read in my new oracle deck, this one, Threads of Fate, was connected to the help for creators. And they suggested to use orange calcite when you basically in form of art block. So if you are there, my fellow creator, maybe this crystal could help you. It looks like a marmalade, and even especially in reality, I'm not sure how it will be on camera, but in reality, like I want to bite it, or like sugar candy or something. So maybe for you to be able to overcome your art block, you need to find something that would just make you as excited as I was a second ago, fantasizing about how tasty this stone could be. Okay, yes, I know. Don't eat stones, please. Anyhow, you need more humor and you need something that will make you excited. You're doing fine and don't give up. This is a very common message. I understand it. And maybe you heard it so many times. But here is the secret. I believe till the moment we got enlightened, we have to continue telling ourselves those kind words. And we have to continue hearing them from other people. No matter how many times we already heard them. Every time it would be as needed as the first time. Like, we don't question how many times we have to brush our teeth in our life, right? Or how many times we need to eat. It's just something that should happen regularly. So telling yourself that I'm doing fine, and I'm not giving up, even when I slow down, or even when I feel fatigue or tiredness or sadness. Like, this doesn't mean that I gave up. Very important. What can I say? It's really, really important. The snow fox on this card is really relevant to this message. Basically, as a spirit animal or as a sign from higher self, snow fox can represent endurance. Imagine the nature circumstances that the snow fox or Arctic fox lives in, and they could be really harsh and difficult to survive. However, this animal is fully equipped for this terrain. And also, I feel that it is important that Arctic fox has white fur, so she can blend herself with the terrain and be more cautious. And first of all, save herself from other predators, bigger predators, and also hunt more successfully. And also Arctic fox, as other fox also, but Arctic fox really needs good ears. She needs to hear well, because usually she hunts on the prey that it's underneath the snow. And when she hears the prey, she jumps right into the snow to catch it. So I feel the message for you here is to be as this wise animal, adapting to your winter situation, to harsh maybe circumstances that are around you, and using them for your benefit right now. There is a message to trust to your senses, for example, to what you hear. If words of others make you feel uncomfortable, you have to pay attention to the, not so much to the words by themselves, but to the question why I became uncomfortable when I hear those words. Is it because I also judge myself somewhere hiddenly, like as these people can judge me, right? So trust to things that you hear in a way that what they provoke in you, what emotions they provoke in you, or desires. And about this hearing, again, I hear that is really important. So maybe it is time for you to communicate straightforwardly to someone, to hear their point, to hear their opinion, because you might think that what they think about you, but you have to listen what they say, because it could be that that it's really different from what you are thinking, and you have to trust in their words. So let's see how this emotional situation opens itself in your career situation right now. First part of your reading is there would be 3 parts, and the first part is going to represent the challenge, your current challenge in your career situation, more concrete information. And we have Mars with motion, fate with, it looks like Fabergé egg, and commitment. Mars is going forward right now, and I feel that those energies has huge impact on you. There is a real conflict happening between you and someone else, because there is a deep conflict with yourself right now. Mars forces us to find and to evaluate our yes and our no in our life. Like, Mars forces us to build adequate boundaries or to conquer those places that we wish to conquer so that we can do and take what's ours, or refuse and save ourselves from what is not ours. So basically, Mars provokes us for doing concrete and bold actions. And for you, it could be a big challenge right now if you're not used to bold actions, or if you don't know how to control your sense of anger. Mars card with a challenging position can also talk about over excessive either aggressivity or sexuality. There could be toxic sexuality, and if it's about you, then this is a message for you. Be careful with how you use this part of your life right now. Maybe it's better to pause and to think through it more carefully. I feel that you might experience this force that is dragging you forward, right? It's like this sense of fate that everything that's happening should happen right now. And for some of you, or for even many of you, it could be as if for a long time you were lying yourself and closing your eyes on your career situation, on problems that were slowly but surely accumulating with every day for many months and even years. But right now, again, with this Mars energy coming into straight motion, right? It's happening, I think, from the January 18th in 2023. Like all planets would be direct from January 21st till April 22nd, I think. And this is a period of extreme, straightforward energy that's just pushing us to move forward. And everything that we were trying to prevent in the effort to stay in our comfort zone that is already not so comfortable for us, this won't be possible to continue doing this action in the next 3 months. Like, universe helping us to break through the shackles. And also I hear maybe from the shackles of fate, some of you can have this negative attitude towards fate and those negative beliefs like, it's just not for me. I'm not destined for something like this. This goal, this career goal is for those people who are better than me and I was not born like them. I hear those thoughts from you, and that's what you are facing in your current career period in your life. That's what you should break through. You should take the weapon of the clear thought of total alignment with your heart and with your head and just cut through those negative beliefs, because you create them to limit yourself to live in more safer place. There is an issue, a challenge with commitment right now happening. It's really difficult for you to commit to your work, to development of your career in a way that you see it in the future, because you are committed to your previous behavior. You are committed to staying in the place where you were before. Even if you think a lot and you really wish to continue developing, or maybe for someone it's even totally changing the place, right, of work. But the idea is that it's like, I know that this should represent exactly commitment between two sides, like the sense of contract. We see this black raven and white dove, and they, as if they were creating this commitment to each other, I guess, contract. But I hear it's like right now is like two sides of you, one darker and lighter, another is lighter, right? Pulling you for the strings of fate into two different sides. And first, the lighter side is something that wants to lead you to your fated life, to your destiny. And the darker side is not a bad side. It's just something that tries to hide you from this world, to defend you, to save you from fears that fears about future. I think that the biggest challenge here right now in your situation with career is that you are not doing so many steps forward, but you're already thinking about the future and how difficult it could be when you will be on the step 464, while you are right now on the third step in your current way of development. No matter where you are, you could stay in the same workplace, but we always have development on our workplace, right? And for those of you who are actually starting something new, or you have to learn how to commit to changes. Commit to changes, and if you'll do this, then you will never have this problem with breaking through your comfort zone. Because breaking through your comfort zone that it's already uncomfortable would be just your passion, your way of living here. So next part of the reading is going to represent the actions that are needed in your current situation to go through those challenges. And we have Page of Wands right above the Mars. Basically, they're so similar. The Sun, the High Priestess, and the Strength. And I just want to mention how many red colors are here in your reading. A lot of red color and a lot of, obviously, fire, passion. But also, red is a color of blood. I hear that it could be important for you. For some of you, it could be the power of your blood relatives. If you have strong contact, strong bonds with your blood relatives, if there are people who can support you from your family, please contact them and ask them for help. Don't be scared to demonstrate them your struggle and straightforwardly explain your request for help, why you're struggling right now. But if you have good contacts, right, with the blood relatives. If not, there could be a message to tap into yourself in meditations, working with your ancestors. You don't need to communicate with people from your family outside of the world. You can communicate with your bloodline inside of you. I hear that there could be traces of magic, and also there could be traces of actually karma. As good karma in the way of your powers, as bad karma in the way of challenges that you're going through right now. So maybe your hesitation and maybe those problems that you're going through, they are not new for your bloodline. Especially with this High Priestess that is below the Mars, I hear that if you experience this challenge to be able to be bold, straightforward, and not thinking a lot, but doing mostly, if you have those problems, you have to go inside of you. You have to stop judging others, all this world that is not fair to you, for example, as you might think. Like why I still don't have success, why I still didn't receive results that I wish, why no one is offering me what I wish to get. Stop judging and asking those questions. Go deep inside of your heart. The High Priestess is extremely spiritual card. It's one of the representation of spirituality, basically. And High Priestess is about actual, concrete, spiritual rituals, meditations, creation of intention, prayers, maybe even reading sacred texts. So we asked what actions you need to do to overcome the challenges that are connected to your career and workplace. You have to use more spirituality in your life and more hands-on spirituality, like something that you can actually do. I don't know how it's called in English, but there is a type of drawing, neurographic, I think, because I just know how it calls in Russian, neurografika, My mom does this. And basically, it's just this ritual when you draw. They explain the technique. Obviously, you can find it. I think so. But the idea is that this, for me personally, when she explained me how she's doing it, it's like a ritual, uh, manifesting ritual. You draw your intention with those special lines, and 2 hours in a row, you focus your attention on creating this pattern, this narrow pattern. And the idea is that you, by drawing these lines and by thinking about your manifestation, you forcing your brain to create new neural connections and to build those connections again in your brain, so that you can draw this energy, right, from the universe to yourself. And I continue, and I right now I'm looking at this fate card with those patterns, with this pattern, and I'm thinking about that maybe it would be really interesting for you to try this kind of magic, basically. So no matter, there are tons of such interesting techniques in the world. They can be called differently, but idea is that if you want to achieve something, you have to use all means, and you have to work with your, I hear right now, identity. How you identify yourself. Do you identify yourself as a failure or as a success? And also you have to work with your intentions, manifestations. Do you understand what intention means? How to create adequate intention that helps you? Do you know how to make little intentions? Have you ever tried to actually attract something into your life? Some small things. Did it work for you? If it didn't work, why? Because you have to learn that this sort of things is real. For those of you who already overcome this step and much tried it several times and it's working, but bigger manifestation doesn't work for you, then it's your work to go deeper and, as I said, work with your identity, who you are and why you don't allow yourself to continue progressing forward. The Sun and the Strength, both of those cards talk about trust. This is about self-compassion. This is about remembering what is the real goal in this life. Living this life on fullest. Living and experiencing all your emotions, and be compassionate towards every representation of life on this earth. First of all, inside of you. What is life for you? Life is not only about happiness and sense of freedom. Life is also about suffering and struggling and experiencing absolutely everything. And I can cry and be sad and also in love with myself and with my life at the same moment. It is possible. I'm telling you this from my own experience, right? But then on the other side, I can experience the most wonderful situation in my life and being contempt and being not in the right mood and feeling that I'm not in the right place in this moment. Because everything connected to my perception and to my level of acceptance of the reality. This is a very straightforward representation of classical card of strength, right? She, this feminine, divine feminine, is kissing the big beast tiger in this deck, exactly. And she's calming it, and she's not afraid of it. She knows that she accepts this animal totally, and the love helps them to communicate between each other. Do you love your beast? Do you actually say kind words of love and appreciation to yourself? First, of course, when you do something good. But for those of you who are already on this level, go deeper again, right? Can you say words of appreciation towards yourself when you actually acted wrong? It's another level of acceptance of yourself. And the card of Sun, right above the commitment, You have to take responsibility on yourself, and you have to commit to your sun. You have to accept this path on yourself. It's like it could be even as a form of a short ritual where you telling yourself straightforwardly and out loud that I am committing to this path. I want to do everything that is needed from me. I'm accepting the fact that I'm not ideal and perfect and that I can do mistakes. I'm accepting the fact that I will do mistakes and everything will happen not as I was imagining, but I want to commit to this path and I want to experience it on the fullest as it faded for me. And I want to refuse from procrastination as much as possible. And I want to fully and totally trust to my fate right now. You can rewind back and just repeat after me what I just said. This is a very powerful statements. And you have to learn how to say and create those statements yourself. Last part of your reading will be connected to supporting energies in your current situation. And other groups got only one card from this archetypal deck, but you got two, and they actually jumped out of deck. So I hear that like your spiritual guides are so much there for you. They just want to tell you, you have no idea how much we're supporting you right now. If only you could trust us a bit more. If only you could allow the situation be as it is. Accepting the real situation and allowing it to be as it is allows us to see straightforwardly what next actions are needed. But when you don't accept and when we say, it should not be like this, it should not be like this, they should not talk to me like this, I should not do those actions, then it blocks our ability to think straightforwardly on the solutions of the situation. So if you only could accept this current state and your current behavior, how faster you would go forward. And we have the self for you. The threshold. You are on this threshold and I feel how you feel this force that pushing your mouse to go forward. And the cosmic egg looks so interesting it is, because the cosmic egg is basically the strongest card we can say in this deck, representing the connection to our crown chakra and connection to the cosmos, obviously, right? While mouse is one of the weakest card, again, we can read it differently. However, it's basically this little scared animal who is over obsessing about little things, sitting in the darkness. So it's like two absolutely opposite energies here. Like I told you, right? Your light and your shadow. There are two opposite energies right now in your life, but they come to you in this part of the reading as your supporting energies. So I hear that you can actually learn a lot from this communication between two opposite parts of you. And also I think that's why we got two cards for you, because it's like being in the middle between two opposite energies. This is what you're learning about yourself right now, about the life. You don't have to be absolutely dark. You don't have to be always wrong. And on the other side, you don't have to be always right and only crystal clear, perfect being. You can be somewhere in the middle. You can be gray. And that's life. It doesn't mean that you are a bad person. This is about accepting some things that other people maybe even could judge, but who cares if it helps you? You don't have to follow someone else's path. And as I said, you don't have to be enlightened and extremely white, bright person of light to continue moving forward and to love yourself. Because you contain inside yourself both of those energies. You are a cosmic egg, and you can act as a mouse sometimes. On the other side, power of this mouse archetype is the power of focusing on little details, like seeing those things that other people will not mention. It could go against you if you start to judge yourself for every little thing, or it could help you actually if you will be careful, if you will carefully evaluate what's happening with your situation right now. You can see those mistakes that's stopping you or other people. On, if you're working on a project, for example, with other people, you can be the one who see those little mistakes that can lead to something worse. So you can prevent those mistakes. And I want to read about those cards from the book, The Self and the Threshold. Remember that right now we're talking about supporting energies in your current situation connected to career, but also I feel that it's even connected to your whole life at all. So the self, the soul, the witness, the watcher. The self is the prism that allows the spectrum of our personalities to radiate. It does not judge, prohibit, suppress, or oppress any of its parts, as it lovingly knows that all aspects have a time and a place, and leads us to experience the full breadth of life's offering. The self is the central abiding container, the awareness of the infinite universe of possibilities. When this card appears, it's a call to step back in, to witness consciousness, to observe yourself navigating the world. Ask yourself, am I the stew or am I the chief? In most situations, our ego draws us into the cauldron where we swirl, spin, and smolder in chaos. Yet the self is a graceful culinary dancer, watching, waiting, observing as the spectrum of ingredients become the flavor of our life. Look in the mirror for 30 seconds or more. Attempt to see the you behind you. The watcher, the observer, the one behind the scenes, right? Now I start to understand this image better. The higher self, you can tell, right? Your soul, something that is not in this material world, but something that represents the real us, something that we all strive to connect to. You can identify with ego and you can unidentify with ego. So anyway, you're forgetting about higher energies. And we have this card right about High Priestess, right? I feel here that you are too zoomed in the material problems and aspects. You have to zoom out. You have to remember about the fact that you decided to choose this destiny and fate. That you are one of the means that universe living itself and experiencing itself. You have to accept this zoom out perspective right now. And it's so much connected with this cosmic egg, and they even, both those cards have those iridescent colors in them, reminding us that there is so much more in the world than only black and white, right? The threshold, the door, the gate, the initiation. We cross thresholds continually, consciously and unconsciously. Doorways, gates, and entryways grace our path on a daily basis. When this card arises, it signifies that the precipice you stand upon is not your typical one, however. You have arrived at the threshold of initiation, here to usher you into a new reality. It requires you to leave behind the you that you thought was so well formed. A new frontier calls. This is not easy work. Threshold initiation means a part of you will be lost in order to make space for what is next. A metaphorical death must occur. Some may not recognize you. You may struggle to recognize yourself. The ground seems to crumble as you free fall into your new reality. This is the liminal realm. One step, dear friend. Just take that necessary step towards the future that calls you. Crossing a threshold might not always be voluntary. Sometimes we are thrown across the boundary through circumstances far beyond our control. Either way, we cannot go back. Either way, you cannot go back. With this Martian, huge Martian energy in your reading, and this, again, animal, spirit animal like Arctic fox, I hear that you're going through some turbulence right now, and it will continue for some time. But those are higher energies in play in your life. And the best thing that you can do is to adapt, to exercise your resilience right now, to be more flexible and alive. You have to allow those energies to lead you forward. And this would be the easiest way for you, the less suffering and struggling. It doesn't mean that it would be easy at all, but accepting the need for change, it's like saying yourself, the time has come. I want to evolve. I want to learn what doesn't work for me right now. Like, I want to learn how to be bold and fiery and committed. And if I want this, then I'll do it. Because you can learn absolutely any skill on the planet. You just have to understand that you want to learn it and then try to do it. So I feel that those were all messages for you, my dear group number 2. I'm not filming those groups in order. That's why it took me some time to remember what's your number, group of the number. And before I leave your reading, I want to ask you to leave the emoji of the snake underneath this video so I can see how many people watched my video till the end. And I want to remind you that I do personal readings, and right now I have a discount time because of the New Year time on my Etsy page. You can order reading there if you are resonating with more psychological approach to read cards and do spirituality. So I'd be glad to hear about your opinions on my readings in the comment section. And if you're not subscribed but you enjoy how I read and you enjoy this psychological perspective that I like to use in my readings, please make sure that you subscribe to my channel. I am growing right now and I appreciate absolutely every person who's staying with me. And I see you next readings. Bye. Hi group 3, your choice for today, this crow card and fluorite. And first message about your career, or maybe not only about a career, to be honest, would be connected to this card, obviously, that you decided to choose. And first of all, the crow is usually a sign for magic, for spiritual powers, for very high intelligence. It's not intelligence that you can achieve studying something. It's your innate skill that you were born with. And even if you don't do any type of magic, you still have such a strong intuition that no matter what you're doing in your life, in your career, you have this ability by trusting your intuition to risk doing some actions that are not so logically easy to explain, but you trust your gut and you go with the flow, and there where your magic show itself. I also have a reading about your types of magic. Maybe you would be interested in this, but overall, I really wanted to emphasize on this message. You're a whole person, you are complete. I really wanted to to give this card as one of the options for this reading, even though the reading was about a career. Again, I went with my intuition and I decided to listen to it. But the first message that I heard the moment I read this phrase was obviously about relationships. Well, for many people, their career is very, very close connected to relationships with others, so maybe it's about you also. You are a whole person and you are complete. Remember about it. You don't need other person to be able to fulfill what you want. If there is some dependable behavior from your part to other people, if you transfer responsibility on them, for your faults and losses, this could be a reminder for you that you are the only one who's responsible for your results. And even if you might feel that something is not fair right now compared to others, for example, right? Then, oh my gosh, you have to live in this unfair situation and you have to take responsibility on yourself how to turn tables in this situation, how to help yourself. And maybe stop pitying yourself that much and just taking what it should be taken, like doing what it should be done. If you have problems with relationships, for example, romantic or friendships, and you spend too much attention and too much energy on them, it might impact your work and your career a lot. Maybe some of you had to hear this phrase because I know some of my artistic friends who suffer sudden depressive episodes like anxiety attacks, and it's difficult for them to work doing their creative work, and they don't understand why. But then when we discuss the situation, we find out that they actually have problems with their roommate, for example, right? They actually have problems with their siblings. And if on the first side it is not connected to the work, on the other side, on the second side, it's connected to them, to their heart, to their ability to feel confident and strong. So if you have this somewhat dependable behavior happening situation, if you depend on behavior of others to feel good, because when they behave wrongly, you feel bad. You understand what I mean? So for your career, you're watching this video, I believe, because you care about your career right now. So for yourself, for your dreams, for your goals, you have to cleanse this possible dependable situation with others in your life. So let's go to your deeper reading. You see how many cards I already prepared for you. There would be 3 parts of the reading today, and first part would be challenges in your current situation. Let's see. We have moon with perception, nature, and life purpose. So I hear that there a lot of self-sabotage behavior and lies to yourself. Because if moon represents a challenge in your current situation, not a supportive energy, it talks about illusions. It talks about not seeing bright path before you, right now seeing the right action. Here I also see this representation of the moon right above this, I think it's like pine cone. And some of you maybe know that basically our pineal gland is in the shape of this pine, and also we have 3 eyes here, obviously. So I hear that this card is connected to your third eye abilities, first of all. And above them, this moon. And moon is our challenge right now. So what does it tell me? It tells me that you're closing your eyes on the screaming intuition inside you right now. There is something that you have to accept and something with which you should go. Your own opinion about current situation. It's like you're suddenly become dumb right now in your career situation, your work situation. Like you, as I said, you were born intelligent. It's in your blood, it's in your spirit. But suddenly you're like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. With this life purpose card, I feel that there are some uncertainty and doubts about your life purpose, obviously. Why am I doing what I'm doing? Or is it the right thing? Is this my life purpose or not? And you cannot answer this question while you're continue thinking about it because thinking is only one side of the whole perspective of your life. You have to also feel and you have to also sense and experience your situation fullest. Moon obviously always forces us to tap into our emotions. And also, Moon reminds us about cycles. We all live in cycles, no matter what biological differences we have. Animals live in cycles, trees live in cycles, and we also live in cycles. And there are periods of times where we experience decrease of energy. And this is normal. This is how life goes. And you have to remember that you as a living being also have those cycles. And if right now you are in a period of low energy, by this period, I mean situation where we have to rest, right? We have to accumulate our energy. We have to tend to our emotions, to some things that we closed our eyes on during, for example, past month or so, some uncomfortable feelings, situations. But if you're in this state right now where you have to attend to this, but you're pushing yourself and you continue closing your eyes on something that is like screaming about your attention, then you're going against your nature. You're going against the normal cycle. It is inadequate to try to scream on apple tree in the middle of the winter and cry because apple tree doesn't give you apples, fruits, right? So if you're doing this thing with yourself, if you are in the very beginning of your journey for your life purpose, and you're already asking yourself for huge results and like you're crying or you become very irritated and annoyed because you don't see your fruits right now, you're going against your nature, and it could be very difficult for you to feel more calm right now because there's so much overload in your higher chakras, in your third eye and crown chakra. If you tend to use your screens for iPhone, no matter phone, I just have iPhone, that's why I said iPhone. Your phone, your computer, your tablet, no matter what screen, if you use screens more than 3 hours per day, actually even less would be also pretty excessive. And you cannot avoid this excessive use, then you have to do actions that will help you to cleanse this energy every night, like every day, every night, in the morning, in the night, you have to do cleansing. And also we're going to look right now on cards that tells us about needed actions. So maybe I will go a bit deeper into this explanation. We have Justice here, Eight of Wands, Eight of Pentacles, and Lovers. Absolutely. About Lovers, first things, I don't know, I have to tell this first. If you right now in a crisis situation with important soul in your life, this is not a joke, and this actually affects your career a lot. This is like you have to be just, look at this, just is right about our lying illusionary moon, right? You have to be just with yourself. If in your relationships something goes against your personal boundaries, if you experience not secure near your close people, you have to take your responsibility on yourself, and you have to protect your boundaries. Maybe for some of you, it could be about moving. I just looking at this Eight of Wands, which usually represents fast movement. But also in this Eight of Wands, we can see that all those wands turn to be snakes, and they are always moving, like not stopping, slithering everywhere. So I feel that this is a recommendation for you to move, to solve your conflict. Maybe to move out from someone, judge it as you know better in your situation, right? What's happening. Your needed actions also connected to the acceptance of the challenge. Right now, I feel that you're avoiding the concrete actions that you know you should do. And this is not about fast. Look at this. We have Eight of Pentacles and Eight of Wands. Eight of Pentacles is not about fast movement. Absolutely not. It is about very slow and very methodical, diligent work. However, on the other side, the Eight of Wands about fast movement. So I see here that cards telling you that you should accept the challenge and you should go forward with it. You should pick a side. Card of the Lovers also can talk about the need for the choice. Like you are in the middle of some situation where you have to make a choice. What is the primary need? What is the primary desire for you right now? And what is secondary and what can wait for some time? And for for majority of you, I feel that your primary need and desire right now is to accept your responsibility before yourself for your work. You know the drill. Some of you know the plan, what you should do, what actions you should perform to help your career. Others of you maybe don't have this plan, but it would be so easy for you to write it down if you will take this responsibility on yourself and sit and write it down. Also, I hear very important message to go and like literally walk outside. We have this card of nature, and life purpose showed us the image of the tree. And the fact that it is mirrored in, I don't know, maybe water or something. I hear that if you want to be clear with your life purpose, and if you want to see your, how can I say it? Like the life is going to mirror you back what's actually yours. You will see yourself in the mirror of life only in nature. You have to, how many times per week do you spend your time outside for the purpose, for the sake of being outside, not because you're going for work or going for other business? Yes, I'm preaching for walking, for doing nothing but being there and looking at the trees, at the sky. You don't need something exclusively beautiful and amazing. If some of you have a chance to go for some trip, that would be extremely healing for you. But for most of us, we cannot afford a lot of trips, right? But we can afford to somehow go outside and breathe an air that is not an air of our apartments or of our house. And for you, it would be so important. I also hear that this Eight of Wands, especially because it's represented with snakes, it's just the huge amount of your desires that, again, slithering and moving inside of you, because wands, in my opinion, represent desires and passions, right? So this is why it could be so difficult for you to focus on something concrete and important that should be done right now. You might overthink, and you might focus your attention on your end goal, like become extremely famous and write a book and save the whole world. And you see, write a book after becoming really famous. Yeah, that's my goal, okay? So if you will think in this huge perspective, I will never do absolutely anything because I am terrified of how to do it, actually. And there is an adult and responsible behavior to write everything down, all your desires, all your ideas, to analyze it, to be just with yourself and with your truth. Because some of your desires, I swear, some of those desires are false. They are desires from your beliefs and from your society, from maybe maybe family, who knows, school, like it doesn't matter. And sometimes when we are really honest with ourselves, when we spend our time in nature, when we spend some time to meditations, where we do some cleansing of our energies, of our body, spirit, sometimes we can see through the lies, our own lies, and we can eliminate those desires. Sometimes we have to try and go with them to only then understand what was right and what was wrong. But if you will continue staying on the same place, if you will not tend to your seed, I just feel that this nature in the middle, pine cone is full of seeds, right? And I feel that this pine cone also represents you, like you full of seeds, and they all want to grow from you. But there could be a situation where not any one of the seeds of the pine cone will grow if it will not be in the right place, in the right time, and if nature will not help it. But because you're a human being, you have to put yourself in the right place, in the right time, like you have to take this responsibility on yourself. And also, I don't know why, but like the crows, I told you, they are really very intelligent animals, right? So I feel that if the crows needed a seed of the pine cone, it would find a way how to get it by using its intellect, by creating some very unique and, on the other side, easy ways how to use things and elements near it. Like everything that is around you can help you to achieve something that looks so difficult to achieve right now. Too much overthinking won't help you with this. And what are the supportive energies in your current situation? We have the starborn, hyena, and turtle. Obviously, first thing that we want to say about turtle is that moving slow. But what is not so obvious about turtle, actually, exactly in this deck, the author tells us about the fact that, like, writers, so maybe if you are about writing a book or something, that's definitely could be connected. So writers, they are like turtles, they collect stories underneath their shelf, and then but it should not be continued forever. There should be a time where they start to share those stories with others. So you know better what the season it is for you right now. Is it a season to collect those knowledges? Is it a season where you have to learn to read more, to communicate with interesting people more, to create your structures, to try them out? So it's like kind of first part of the existence of this turtle. Or is it a time to start share those stories already? Or maybe, of course, life is not like black and white, and there could be some gray times. Mostly, always, there are gray times, sometimes rainbow times. So, but still, as I said in the beginning of your reading, right, this importance of seasons. So where you are right now. Because if it is a time for you to collect, to learn, to become stronger, wiser, and you are blaming yourself for the fact that you still don't have like your 1 million followers that listening to every your word, well, that's not adequate. That's only another suggestion for you to continue learning more, maybe about psychology, maybe about positive reinforcement, maybe about skills, how to help myself to stop judging and blaming myself, because you will learn those skills, and this what will first of all help you to pursue your career more and deeper and like further. And also that's what you will tell and teach others no matter what exact your career would be, even if you would be a programmer engineer or someone else who on the first sight don't really communicate with others, there would be situations in your life where you will share, because we have this turtle here and starborn also. You will share your knowledge, you will have the stage, the requests from others, so that you can tell them about your path and they will learn from it. Before I read about the Starborn card, I also wanted to tell you about the hyena situation. So I hear that you are overall, you can suffer from people pleasing sometimes, but this is not what I'm talking about. You are a person who can be a center of the situation, of the company. You can be a clown in a good or in a bad way. It depends on from what position you are clowning right now, right? People can adore you for this funny and humorous behavior, or people can be really annoyed by it. It doesn't matter. That's for other reading about your relationships with others. But right now, hyena being in your supportive energies tells me that you have to look at your situation with humor. You have to find a way how to laugh with sincerity about what's happening right now with you, or I bet there are other people also could be somehow in this situation. So how can you laugh on your own fears? How can you laugh about your uncertainty and doubts about everything that's bothering you right now? And I know that you can find this way. Laughing is actually some part of the therapy. When I was first studying psychology with my mentor, with my therapist, we spent few sessions, definitely, and also there was one group session where we learned how to laugh. And there was an exercise where one person from the pair would share their traumatic story. Not, of course, not a very deep traumatic story, but some situation that was traumatic, but right now they are not so affected by it, obviously. And the other person have to laugh. Of course, it was very difficult to do, and all laughing sounded strange, but that was learning process. How to allow yourself to laugh over something traumatic. As I said, when we were doing this in this group, it all sounded very strange. However, closer to the end of the group, when a lot of us already felt, and also it's important to mention that this group existed for some time already. We all knew each other, so there was some good rapport, like we knew and we trusted to each other more or less. But even closer to the end of this concrete session, we actually started to laugh sincerely because it was so stupid. Because laughing, when forcing yourself to laugh, sounds really, really stupid. And we would laugh over our laugh that sounds stupid. And that taught me a lot. Now I have more humor when I'm alone with myself. When I find myself in or thinking, more often than less, I can actually like burst some laugh, chuckle out of me, because this is actually very strange. So anyway, let's read about your Starborn card. The Divine Child, the Star Child, the Destined. Okay, we don't need to read anything else. I just feel that that's what exactly you had to hear. The Divine Child, the Destined, the Chosen One. That's all about you, okay? Just accept it. Just accept it. But remember that chosen one going through a lot of shit before they fully embrace their power. It's only in like Chinese dunhuas and like light novellas, web novellas, where main protagonists always have very clear path before them, like absolutely everything happens for their favor. I'm just looking right now, watching right now one Dunhua. It's very funny. But on the other side, I was interested what else superpower he will get suddenly and out of nowhere because gods decided to favor him for the 100th time. Anyhow, that's happening only in those things. In cool books and films and other arts, like in cool stories, okay? In cool stories and in reality, even the chosen one goes through absolutely everything that you're going through right now. There is a phrase from the book of Paulo Coelho. I believe book called is the Book of the Light Warrior, maybe like this. I'm not sure how it's translated in English. I read it in Russian. And there is a phrase that hit me so hard. I remember it till this day. And the phrase goes, absolutely every light warrior doubted themselves that they are a light warrior. First one. And second is absolutely every light warrior, the warrior of light, lied, betrayed, self-sabotaged, and did the worst possible behavior towards themselves and towards others earlier in their life. That's absolute truth. We are not born angels. We are born humans. Remember about it. An elusive yet radiant aspect of the self, the starborn archetype points to the cosmic spark of light that arrives with each being at birth. The moment the newborn crowns, whenever vaginally or surgically, the royal stars above are said to constellate in a unique shape that maps our path in the world. The idea of destiny is controversial, yet the starborn naturally feels a sense of destination and purpose, aiming itself towards a future that is beyond the mundane. When this card appears, travel back to your birth story for clues and insight. What did you desire when you were young? Practice seeing your life from a mythic point of view rather than as a series of logistics. Read the story of the three fates and envision yourself born under the stars with a unique identity. I don't know what's the story of the three fates. I should read it, obviously. So with the red, there is a phrase that highlighted. Destination. The starborn naturally feels a sense of destination and purpose, aiming itself towards a future that is beyond the mundane. Listen, you know your purpose. You know what you have to do. Go with it. Go. What else can I add? I don't think that I can. I know what I can add. I can add. Next thing. Could you please comment down below the egg emoji if you're still here? I'm not sure if we have the egg emoji. If we don't have egg, then like a fried egg on the pan. Starborn mind. Show me that you are still here in this reading. Also, please share with me your opinion. Did you enjoy this reading? Resonated it with you or not? And if you're interested in more readings that connected to psychological part of the reasoning, definitely subscribe to my channel because I am a professional counselor and I always put some psychological perspective to my readings. I also have Etsy page. You can buy a reading from me or consultation with some discount right now because of the new year. And I'm going to see you next readings. That was all. Thank you so much. Bye bye.